Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Brown, CEO of Corrective Exercise, Arizona's leader in geriatric training. Today, we're going to talk about, you got it, the old folks' home. I know lots of you have parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, other aging loved ones. They're terrified of the old folks' home, or more politically correct, assisted living, senior living. Um, And today we're going to talk a little bit about how you can help them choose the best home for them. And there is a wide range of wonderful facilities out there. There's some terrible places as well. So you definitely need to be mindful of choosing a senior living facility or assisted living home for your loved one. The horror stories are true. I feel after working in assisted living and in and out of senior living for many, many years, that there are far more good places than not good places, but still you need to be mindful, and depending on how much financial resource is available to you, your loved one, your family, whoever is going to be paying the bill, will also determine a large portion of what will be available to the individual going to senior living. But it's not as terrible as a lot of people think. A lot of people just have a tremendous fear of the unknown, and they just want to stay at home in their own environment, regardless of whether or not they can actually sustain that life in a healthy way, physically, emotionally. And this is a tremendous feat for the family. We see people go through it all the time. There are lots of great resources out there, depending on where you live. I know here in Arizona, we have some wonderful placement agencies that can help hold your hand through this process. Big shout out to Danny Klein with Serenity Senior Services in Tucson, Chad Kinney, Corey Shirey. If you're a placement agent that we work with, that I didn't mention your name, sorry. But big shout out to everybody who works with the elderly. Sometimes it's a thankless job. But making this video to help people decide just how to make the best, most pragmatic decision for their loved one. And we're going to talk about a few things that are going to really make a majority of the determining factors are going to come down to a few different things about what is the right place. So, who? Mom? Dad? Both? And there are lots of wonderful places that can accommodate a couple. Even residential assisted living homes are now accommodating couples. Sometimes there's a price break for a couple, and it's less than 2 individuals. So yeah, first we got to decide is who's going and what their needs are. There are 3 types of senior living homes in a majority of the places in this country. And the first one is going to be what we call an SLC, or a senior living community. And basically, these are going to be for seniors who often are also oftentimes couples in these communities, but seniors that are primarily independent. And when I say independent, meaning they need very little assistance in their daily life. Elderly man or elderly woman whose spouse just passed away and they don't want to live alone anymore, and they don't need a big house by themselves anymore, and the family doesn't want them to be all by themselves, and they like a community. So they're basically like big apartment complexes for seniors, and they have activities and lots of things they can do, things that keep them together, and they have cleaning staff and people who do the laundry. But as far as their activities of daily living are concerned, their hygiene needs, their medication needs, the finer things, they're primarily independent. They remember to take their meds. They can get to the bathroom on their own safely. They can. Sometimes it may not be safe for them to shower on their own, so they might have a little help with showers or something, just for safety parameters, depending on where they live. But yeah, basically large apartment communities for primarily independent seniors. So yeah, second is going to be assisted living facilities. And these are oftentimes attached to a senior living community, larger facilities that accommodate 30, 40, 50, 100 residents that need some sort of assistance with their activities of daily living. Their walking, transferring, showering, hygiene, shaving, toileting, whatever it is. They will be set up to accommodate a certain level of those needs. And the big thing is not all assisted living facilities are going to be right for all individuals. The biggest concern that we have and we see in what we do, especially because we specialize in helping elderly people regain and maintain their independence. So a lot of times we come in to an assisted living facility and they improve, and then maybe they don't need as much care, and then they go into something more independent or they go back home. But what we see a lot of is, a lot of times facilities, they will just sell whoever will pay for a bed. And in my opinion, that's not right, because we see it all the time. Someone goes into an assisted living facility and they just need more care than that facility can provide. Not all facilities are designed to house and take care of elderly people that have high levels of care. If you have a loved one that needs round-the-clock care, maybe they need something like, depending on what their conditions are, maybe they need a memory care unit that's geared towards people with dementia or forms of dementia. And the staff there, hopefully, and in most cases, is educated on dementia and knows how to communicate, program, and keep those people, those residents, living at the highest quality of life, because that's what they need. People with dementia, especially in later stages, they need a very special level of attention, a special level of care, and it takes very, very special people to know how to communicate with them and to help them get through their day every day. So not all places are right. You can't just choose the first place that you see, because unfortunately the sales manager in an assisted living home is still in sales, and they do sell people places that they shouldn't. So that being said, my third facility or home, which is what we call an ALH or RALH, which is a residential assisted living home. Operative word here being home. I personally, for people that have the highest level of care, a big fan of residential assisted living homes. They are basically houses that have been converted to house anywhere from 6 to 10 residents, and they have 24-hour staff and have 2 or 3 caregivers on staff all the time. And generally speaking, this is where people get the highest level of care and the most specialized level of care, because there's less residents. Residents get more attention, and a lot of times people coming out of a house don't want to go to an apartment. They don't want to be in a community. They want to feel like they're in a home. And when their family comes to visit them, they want to be able to come and go freely, and they don't want to have to, walk through miles and miles of apartment building and deal with the reception and all of that, and visiting hours if they have visiting hours. They want to be able to see their mother, grandmother, brother, sister, aunt, and uncle in a home, being cared for by caregivers that way. And all of these are fine options as long as it is correct for what the elderly person needs. But it is very, very critical that you place your loved one in the right type of place. And a lot of times we advise people just call a placement agent, because they're going to hold your hand through the process. But this is just a little bit of information to help you get on your way. There are lots of great facilities out there, and just thought I would make this video to help some people out. The old folks home ain't as bad as a lot of people think it is. A lot of these places are very luxurious, and they have movie theaters, and they have restaurants, and they have happy hour, and the residents are very, very happy there. So it's really great to see all these different facilities popping up and all these different options for the elderly these days, because they really are a precious part of our population. Frank Brown, CEO of Corrective Exercise, Arizona's leader in geriatric training.